Well, hi there.
Hello, mate.
Isn't time
That,
travel awesome?
that honestly was so much fun. I really enjoyed that.
All right, so I have two questions for you. Yes,
Yeah.
it's great you made a backup with time travel. Second thing, are you sure you want to keep playing Neph? Because I felt you were really suicidal tonight, and I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Well, the thing is, if I play as this Neph, it may well have been that this is an alternative universe, and this Neph is actually not as reckless.
I don't mind reckless characters. It's just look at the rest of the party. I want to promote party unity, and yes, the party isn't like completely unified right now, but like I'd like it if I'd like it if the party was working together more. And like, look at how much you guys have been splitting up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put all of the blame on Neph, but I will put a fair bit of the blame on Neph.
Well, I think it's a good idea to follow the idea that Neph comes back because obviously, like we say, there was the two different divides.
If you want to pull the time travel card, I will let you pull the time travel card. I did have a plan for other Neph going back and like becoming a competent ruler or not. If you would like to pull out that backstory, I'll let you pull out that backstory. Alternatively, if you have a brand new character idea you'd like to bring up, now would be the time to do it. Because and again, don't get this wrong on me. The party kind of felt happy Neph was gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were feeling the same thing as all. And I just don't want that sort of divide to make in the party.
Yeah, of
If you
course.
want to play a super chaotic character, by all means. It's just I don't think that's working well in the party at the moment. Like I can clear
Yeah.
like Tarek doesn't like you, Vasriel doesn't like you, Balder and you kind of had a thing going on, but when Balder wasn't here, it kind of devolved. Was the problem? And again, I'm not going to say Neff was a bad character or anything, but if you want to pull the time travel card, I'd like you to at least somewhat reinvent your idea. Alternatively, you can go completely off the rails and you can pull out like a druid or something. Up to you. You tell me what's fun.
So I'm just thinking there's two different ways. If you bring back the Neph card later in your idea with the current Neph not there, then what's the new Neph going to do? Because it's not going
Okay,
to like
what was
just.
all right? So my plan was basically you had this whole fancy backstory. My idea, or at least this was my plan for Neff, if Neff was the backstory, is have you ever played the video game Crusader Kings?
No.
Okay, basically, I was gonna have it be like actual Neff is like, oh, I'm going off on an adventure and it's great, and then it's like, and then for you to encounter this other Neff is like, what are you doing? You are the main heir to this whole conquest, and for like other Neff to be this like incredibly bureaucratically associated person who's like, no, you need to go back, you need to actually get shit done, and to basically be like the. Okay, do you know who Hermes is from Futurama?
Uh, Slightly. I
The
haven't seen it.
Jamaican guy, like being like
Yeah.
super bureaucratic, and like you come back and it's just like your entire country is working with like perfectly oiled, and everyone's like, "Hooray for Neff!" And you're like, "What the fuck happened here?" And to basically have like her steal your identity. That was the idea I had of like the whole stealing identity thing. But that
Yeah.
was for
Cool.
original Neff to discover, and original Neff is now dead. Or not dead, but I think the party killed you because you drank horribly cursed waters of Lamashtu.
They're already detecting a slight magic.
Oh, would you like me to tell you exactly what you drank?
Well, yeah, because the thing is as well, when you rolled them, you were saying that there was a one was a 12, which against my dex was 14. So technically I won, and then the other one was 18, which
Yeah,
against
so
my insight
what you
16. So what
drank
would have
was
happened there?
this stuff called you drank basically if you drink this stuff, which again it's evil water on top of an evil altar. It is you drink this stuff and it makes you insane and mutates you into a creature of Lamashtu. And this was something the party was supposed to find out is this is where all these sin spawn came from. This is how the whole cult of Lamashtu came into being, in the fact that there's basically a fucking cult of Lamashtu harvesting the sin spawn right underneath the town. And this is how they're all being created. Because Lamashtu is the mother of monsters and mutants. And if you drink this shit, it makes you insane and turns you into a mutant.
Right. Didn't quite get to that part.
Yeah, so You failed the save, which made you insane, and you failed the save, which turns you into a horrible monster.
So wait, I failed 2 saves because I thought I only failed one.
No, you failed the one save, but it gave you 4 doses,
Shit.
which made you insane and turned you into a mutant. Which is why I was going with the whole "you have no mouth and must dream."
Jesus.
Well, not
That was
pretty horrible way to go, all things
that was
considered.
that was really fun though. You have to admit, like even though I was being quite suicidal, that
It
was a
again,
really
I
really
want to
easy job.
ask: was the being suicidal intentional? Because I've had players before. I've done this sort of behavior myself, where it's like if you're not enjoying a character, suddenly that character starts taking a shit ton of risks. And between the grog, between the being a child, and between the intentionally drinking the waters of Lamashtu and running ahead of everyone, I don't know if you were intentionally just saying I don't enjoy playing Neph anymore. Because if you don't enjoy playing Neph anymore, I want you to be able to say, "Hey Ace, I'm not enjoying my character anymore," and we can find a way to write you out of the story. I'd prefer if you did that as opposed to intentionally try and kill your character.
I don't think I was intentionally trying to kill. I think it was more a case of like, especially while being a 4-year-old, like
Yeah, being a 4 year
playing
old, I
around,
understood, and that, again,
playing
that's why I
around.
kind of wanted you to roll the hero point and get like 13 or something, but you rolled
Yeah,
badly.
yeah, it was really bad. Um, but yeah, playing a 4-year-old, that was definitely a why would you leave a 4-year-old alone in a room with
Why do you think I was trying to
magic water?
push the daycare thing on the party so badly and have you like possess Kathy or something for a session? That was my plan.
Yeah, that would have worked quite well, but then no one wanted to put me there. So great. But what we
Well, what's done is done.
what
Can't change the
yeah.
past. But I just want
Do
to
you know
make
what?
sure
I did,
you were enjoying yourself
yeah,
and
for
weren't
sure.
intentionally trying to kill your character because you weren't having fun.
No, no, not because I'm not fun. I'm really enjoying it actually. But I did message Caius during the thing as well, and he basically said that what I've done today, because I said, "Oh my god, hilarious," and he said, "Oh, what I've done today is actually kind of like promoted role playing because everyone was getting really involved with it, which I thought was really good as well. A lot less like kind of
Oh,
character,
absolutely. I
like
love
out
the
of character.
fact that you got everyone involved. And I love that sort of thing where we can like I live for these sorts of sessions where I don't have to do a goddamn thing and the party just goes on shenanigans by all the ways. However, at the same time, I want those shenanigans to be fun and not annoying.
Yeah, of course.
And like
Um,
especially again, I don't want to weigh anyone more than anyone else, but I felt Verasil and I felt Tarek today both were kind of annoyed at you, and Rygar somewhat.
hmm,
Like especially since to be honest, I did fudge the roll for the Oompa Loompa roll because I thought that would be funny. Because what he actually rolled was the violently allergic to alcohol, and I felt that might make him leave the campaign.
oh no. Oh, okay, so you actually
So
like made
I
funny
admit
room.
I did fudge that roll because you nearly killed yourselves. And I would prefer the party not kill themselves. However, at the same time, there's a rule I've always learned in the Dungeon Master's Guide, which is that I do not intentionally kill players unless they were doing something very stupid at the time. And
Yeah,
I feel drinking crazy grog, running as a 4-year-old into a horrible dungeon, and then drinking maddening water is a
I'm
bit on
pretty
the
sure
dumb
that
side.
counts. It definitely counts. Well, I think
So
there's
again,
kind
if
of
you
two
want to pull the
options.
time travel card and bring Neph but alternate universe back, I'm okay
Uh,
with that as long as you
hmm,
tone down the lol randomness.
yeah,
Alternatively, if you'd like to come up with a cool idea, like there's plenty of roles that could be filled in this party. Like this party legitimately has no smart people in it. So if you'd like to roll like a magus, an alchemist, a wizard, something of that nature, and like completely change gears and like be the smart guy in the party, that's totally
mm.
doable. Alternatively, another thing this party lacks is like a proper rogue or something. If you'd like to be doing the sneaking ahead along with the wunk.
Well, Caius is kind of a rogue himself,
He's a bit sneaky, but I don't think the party has any way to like disable traps or open locks.
right?
Or like a bard. A bard might fit with this party.
What would a bard be?
Bard is a class that does everything half decently. Like, cause I noticed with you're a sorcerer, you're trying to get into a lot of melee, and that's or like you were grappling a lot, and that's not really something sorcerers are designed to do. So, bards are supposed to be like the second best class, or like you're supposed to be the second best at everything. Like you can melee sorta, you can make a bard who's a decent melee character, you can make a decent archer, you can make a decent healer, a decent attacking spells, decent defensive spells. It's kind of like the ultimate like jack of all trades sort of class. You'll never be as
Right.
good as say Tarek at healing, but you'll be 75% as good as everybody else.
Okay, so then I can kind of like then I can kind of use, for example, the crossbows, the swords, and the armor, and do spells and do healing. I can kind of do
Yeah,
literally.
like if you want to do everything, that's what Bard is. You're never going to be as good as say you'll never be as good at a damage dealer as say the fighter or the barbarian. You'll never do as much range damage as the gunslinger. You won't be able to heal as much as the cleric, but you'll be able to cover for the party when they can't cover for things themselves.
What about when like when you said earlier on like I'm not chain armor and stuff? Like what am I again? Is
Bard,
pretty much it
on say that again.
for a bard. What am I proficient? Is it like you say? Is it everything?
I can send you Bard if you'd like to give it a read.
Yeah, I'll have a
Bards
quick read.
get. Let me send you. Do you have the player's handbook?
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah,
Should open it.
Bard's totally in the player's handbook.
Uh, so
There you
bard is
go.
page 34.
Yeah. Bards, you get a decent number of skills, not as good as a rogue, but a fair number. You get you get light armor proficiency. You can cast in light armor. You get simple weapons plus a few more. You get a small number of spells, more than a paladin, but less than a cleric. You get bardic performances where you can give everyone bonuses to like inspire courages, or you can like fascinate opponents. You get bardic knowledge, which lets you give yourself you add half your class level to all knowledge checks, and you can roll any knowledge untrained. You get versatile performance, which is hilarious, which is just like depending on the type of performance you pick, you can use perform instead of other skills. So if you have, say, perform act, you can roll perform instead of bluffing people. Or if you have perform wind, you could make a perform check instead of rolling diplomacy.
Right. Okay. So then I can kind of just perform everything as an actor rather than as a liar.
Sort of, yeah. And no, there's various different versions of bards. Like perhaps if you'd like to be a more physical bard, you could be a skald, which is more of being a bard of metal, which is you mix barbarian and bard together, and you get the glorious rage and songs of the high north. If that's more of your style. And
That's
you also get this thing called lore master, which is just once per day you can nat 20 a knowledge check. Or it's just once per day you can be like, I know this, guys.
that's great.
And you get a fair few spells, and bard spells they're all over the place. Again, bard is the jack of all trades class, which is like you get a few healing spells, a few supporty spells, a few attacky spells, a few defensive spells,
So
kind of
then
being a support class.
Can I go bard and then dual class as like a sorceress, for example? A sorceress.
Absolutely. Again, if you'd rather stay as a sorceress, that's totally possible. You can bring
Well,
it as
no.
Neph, or if you
I'm
have
just kind of
another
thinking
sorcerer you can go with.
there's two options. What would you do if I decided to pick someone else? What would you do with Neph with the secondary Neph?
What would I do with secondary Neph? Exactly what I told you. Secondary Neph will go back to your kingdom and will basically turn it into a well-oiled machine. And some point, like when the party's like level 7 or so, and because, spoiler alert, this campaign is not just restricted to Sandpoint, but as you guys are exploring through Sandpoint, you may in fact hear of a glorious kingdom run by someone named Neph, and the party's going to be like, what the fuck? And they're going to go to this kingdom and they're going to be like, hello, yes, I went to the Sandpoint Fair, but this weird ass thing happened and I just ended up never going. Weird coincidences, huh? And then maybe involve them in a side quest up there.
Right. Okay. So you're still going to perform that. I just won't know who she is.
Yeah, that was my plan for future for other Neph. If you have a different plan for other Neph, you're welcome to do so. And I haven't put too much thought into it because it also ties into Baldur's backstory, and I don't completely want to spoil that quite yet.
Hmm.
But I will say I do have a bit of a meta plot in the brewing. It ties into Vasriel's visions and Tarek's backstory that he hasn't told anyone about yet.
Because I'm just thinking, if we're down here, for example, in this kind of these caverns and things,
Yeah, so
maybe
you guys are
I'm.
currently in the Caverns of Wrath, which is this horribly unfilled anger nonsense. So if you're wondering why everyone is suddenly getting spouts of anger, well, this is the reason why.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe what I'm thinking potentially, there's two different ways, and you can kind of like put in your 2 cents as well. Because I can play as Neph still, 100%. That doesn't
Absolutely, if you want to
change
bring
too
if you
much.
want to bring back time travel Neph, alternative you have another idea, shoot it.
What I was going to say is, how about if, for example, one of the, what did you call the guys with all the things in the first room?
What do you mean the guys in the first room?
The guys in the first room with all the spears and stuff, and
The the sin
what they called?
spawn?
Sinspawn, yeah. So if one of those Sinspawn, you said the people who drunk that basically you turned into
Turn
different
into those
things.
monsters, yeah.
So what if I went down adventuring with some of my friends and they did that, and then I kind of hot-footed it out because they were like trying to attack me and stuff,
Okay,
but
that's
I'm
Rygar's
still down in the
backstory.
cave. Oh
That's Rygar's backstory. Where do you think all the blood came from down here?
shit! I didn't actually realize that was his backstory.
Yeah, he,
Told
he
me.
got captured down here and he cut his way out, and that's why he burst through. That's why he burst through the stone wall down there, and you guys are now just retracing his steps.
Um, Maybe I'm another person who's been locked up that couldn't escape, and they find me.
Uh, Again, I don't mind spoiling the current storyline for you. Again, most of these caverns down here have not been explored. There is a ruler of these caverns who is currently BFFs with Nualia, and kind of has a deal with Nualia in the sense that Nualia is bringing corpses down here, and those are getting turned into Sid spawns based off of something you're going to find out later. So it's entirely like the other option is maybe you were working with Nualia and you defected. That's kind of what I was doing with. That's kind of what I was doing with Vasriel. Though to be honest, I didn't actually expect him to defect, but I guess he just didn't like his brother.
Dang. So I'm thinking
Or you
there's
could
there's
play
two
as Vasriel's
possibilities.
brother. That's another option if you'd like to jump in as that character.
That's someone else's character they've made up for me. So I'd kind of probably start as something else.
No, you're
What
welcome
I'll
to possess
do,
a Mako or Kathy. Those are options.
I could be Kathy.
You are more than welcome to possess her. Though I'd ask you if you want to jump in as Kathy, I'd ask you to be pretty careful because the party already has a relationship with that character.
Yeah.
So
No,
if
I'm
you
not
want
going
to
to do
jump in
that.
as her, you can just respect the personality and relationship I've built up as that character.
Yeah, I won't do that. No, I think what I'll do is I think I like the idea of this bard.
All right,
Um,
I can throw different classes your way if you want more inspiration. Like, do you want to be a caster? Do you want to be a melee character? Or do you want to be a bit of both?
I like the idea of a bit of everything. Yeah.
All right, other classes in the same vein could be paladin. Party could definitely use a paladin, basically Tarek but more fighty. Other options include you could be a alchemist. Alchemists are basically like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde character where you can be a melee character. You can drink this mutagen that makes you like super strong but also dumb. You can throw grenades and shit and mix different mixtures together. Magus, if you just want to be a straight spell sword, that's a thing. They made that as a base class, or it's just like spell in one hand's magic in the other. Vigilante. Do you want to be Batman? That's a class. And like all the variations of that from like fucking the Avenger. They made like a goddamn magical girl archetype. If you want to be Sailor Moon, that's a thing you can do. ninjas, anti-paladins, Scald.
Oh, could I be a ninja bar?
Ninja Bard is totally applicable. That sounds like something along the lines of Ameko's family. Ooh, maybe you could jump in as Tezuo, but like redemption arc. That's an option. You like did all this thing, you fell for Nualia, but then you got captured, and you're like, oh god, I am horrifically repenting everything that happened, and now you want to use your crazy ninja skills for good.
But then they already have like a really bad relationship with him, so it's not a great place.
What if you're legitimately mourning? Tarek over here is a cleric of the god of redemption. If you want to go whole redemptful samurai sort of thing. Oh yeah, samurai, that's also a class. But if you want to go with bard, go with bard. I don't want to shoot you
I
off to
like.
something that's fun.
No, I'm just playing around with the idea of being a bard ninja and being like this super stealthy jack of all trades. None.
Well, bard has stealth as a class skill. You can totally be a stealthy bard.
But is there a way to like double up and be a bard ninja as well?
You can multi-class bard and ninja, yeah.
When does multi-class?
You can multi-class at any level, so the party's level 2, so you could come in as a level 1 bard, level 1 ninja.
I might do that.
Go for it.
I might do that. I don't really have time now because it's already 2 a.m. But is
Obviously.
there a chance?
What
Is there a
ninja
chance maybe
is
tomorrow?
what yeah, ninja is basically just rogue for reference. It's basically a reflavor of rogue where you get like poison use, you get sneak attack, and you get ninja tricks, which are basically just rogue tricks. So if you want to be a sneaky bard who backstabs people, that is totally a thing. But you could also just do that as straight bard. It's up to you how much you want. Because the whole thing about bard is that it's a jack of all trades class.
Right.
Though if you want to play a bard, you tell me who this. You want to be Cyrus? Shit, there's a bard. Party knows.
Who's Cyrus?
The owner of the theater. The guy who told you guys to go to
Mm,
Magdamar and perform a shitty play.
yeah, but then why would he come along with them?
Maybe he regrets signing. Maybe he regrets signing the party up. Ameko, she's another bard the party knows. If you want to possess her, she doesn't really have any other role in this adventure path beyond what's happened so far.
And I guess by playing as a Mako, I can then take Kathy with me because the whole thing about Kathy was that she needed to stay with a Mako and be at
I
the
can
inn
give you
stuff.
Ameko's full backstory if you want, but I think she's already told you guys.
She has, yeah, but I mean in terms of like with Kathy as well, because we kind of like as a group seem to be pulling friends in and
If you guys want Kathy to come along with you, again, you're welcome to jump in as Kathy. That's another option.
that's what I was going to say. If I play as a Meko, then surely I can bring Kathy with me because Kathy's kind of under my command as well, I guess.
She's not under your command, but
But
I can tell
essentially,
you if you want to play as a Mako, I can tell you the circumstances of how they met, and it was a bit traumatizing. But suffice it to say, Kathy is following a Mako because Kathy had blue screen of death, and Ameko was the person there who saved her.
okay,
But again,
then
if you
maybe
want to
that.
jump in as a Mako, that comes with all of the existing problems of you've seen the personality I've been going for a Mako. Do you think you can jump in as that personality and not just as Neph in Ameko's costume?
We haven't really seen too much of a Meko
You
in
guys
a way of like,
haven't?
yeah, well, no, in a way of like she's been around a lot, but like Kathy's come with us. We've had a lot of her attitude and things like around us and trying to be social. Whereas with a Meko, she was more telling us stories and complaining about us ruining her rusty inn.
I
So like
thought you guys have
in
seen
that
a
sense,
I thought you guys have seen a lot of Ameko, but fair enough.
well, not enough to be like, oh, if I decided to make a couple of like little trait changes here and there and kind of be myself with it,
Oh, of course.
it wouldn't be too out of space
Yeah,
kind of thing. Whereas
Ameko
Kathy, for
has
example,
has
is
been
exactly
Ameko has been through a lot of traumatic events lately, so absolutely, if you want to give her a 180 personality degree change, you are more than welcome to do so. However, if you do that, keep in mind the party might get annoyed at that. But if you
I don't
think
want. No,
it
I
would
don't want
be,
to. I don't want to neff her up. I just want to slightly change things just so she's my character rather than yours,
oh,
and I'm trying to pretend to be
absolutely.
yours.
Again, it would be a bit of a challenge, but if you're up for the challenge, you are totally okay with. I'm totally okay with you possessing a Mako.
Sweet. Then in that case, I would need her full backstory just written down, so I've got it all there
I
with like her age
one
and all that.
ahead of you.
And then
Mako Kaijitsu.
not only that, I need to make a new character sheet for her entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a
So,
character sheet for her already?
no, but I do have this. Let me link you this. So I have made a bit of alterations to this. But this is the gist of it. Currently, she is a level 3 bard, level 1 aristocrat, level 1 rogue, but you can totally change that to like a level 2 bard. Uh, the only addition I'd make to this is that at one point, during her adventuring nonsense, because I didn't like the whole basically became depressed and came back. So before all the stuff happened at the Goblin Raid on Sandpoint, Ameko decided to go off to Numidia because Numidia sounds fun. And out there, she found a robot by the name of Kathy, who was out there wandering around the wastes, and basically took her in and taught her the basics of what was going on. However, as you can probably imagine, Kathy took to this a little bit too well and basically never got the whole stranger danger lesson. And so a few weeks later, Ameko basically found out from a group of local Hell Knights that Kathy had been captured by a group of people that you're probably fairly aware of at this point, by the name of what were they called? The Technic League, yes. And basically Ameko went with this group of Hell Knights and rescued Kathy just as she was being disassembled and basically reprogrammed by a group of Technic League people. And Kathy got uncaptured by Ameko, though the process completely traumatized her to the point that she went from absolutely loving humans to the personality you saw her at the start of the game with. And Ameko being like, I don't know what to do with this woman, but I have a ton of money and I have a family to take care of. She moved back to Sandpoint and opened the Rusty Dragon like 5 years ago, which was around the time her mom committed suicide.
Right. That's
Which,
quite
as
good.
you imagine, turned her dad into the person that you saw him as.
Yeah. And now I don't have anyone apart from the visitors. Like my dad's dead,
Yeah,
my brother.
you about 5 years ago, right during the whole everything that happened, your mom committed suicide, your dad became a drunk, and Tetsuo turned into Tetsuo.
So
So
then why
you've
would I
been
join them?
Well, because all of these random adventurers showed up, and they're the only people who have actually been nice to you. Like you've been nice and welcoming, but this town is super isolationist, and you've got an adventure in your heart. So party shows up, and they're like the first like decently cool people you've seen, and you've
Mm.
interacted with the party. Party seems pretty cool, especially all these sorts of people. Then Tetsuo shows back into your life, and you try to give him one more chance, but then he beats you and possibly rapes you. Up to you if you're cool with that, but basically abuses you. You meet Vasriel. Vasriel tells you to shut your mouth, which gets you more beaten up. And then sometime the next day, this random woman called Neph shows up, changes your clothing into Laura Croft, and without much of an explanation, you wake up back at the Rusty Dragon.
Do that.
So maybe now is just like, well, shit, I don't think restaurant owning is right for me.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of that. And then because, like I say, Artie's kind of trying to bring Kathy in anyway and bring her
Absolutely.
along with our adventures, then by me coming with her, not that I own her, but by me coming with the party, gives her the opportunity to come with us. So then we do have the ability to have her as an extra person who can literally come with us everywhere. Because what
Absolutely.
else is she going to do? I like that. Let's do
Uh,
it.
All right. The only other thing I'd mention about the backstory I sent you for Ameko is please ignore everything in the 4711 AR and onward because slightly out of character. so many people liked Ameko Kaijitsu as like an NPC in this adventure, they actually ended up expanding her backstory somewhat in the adventure path called Jade Regent, where the party comes back to group of party comes back to Sandpoint and finds out that Ameko is like the heir to this crazy ass like to basically the shogunate in Tian. And there's this crazy long adventure called Jade Regent where the party basically escorts Ameko to become Empress of Tian. But I'm just going to cut all that out right there if you'd like to play as a Mako, because obviously you playing as a Mako means that all of that gets invalidated.
Well, she can still be the heir, but
Well,
she
she
doesn't
she
actually
she
get
can
taken
still.
away.
I'm saying is if you play as a Mako, that means a Mako is either going to end up being dead or a 20th level demigod, which means the events of Jade Regent can't exactly happen the way they do.
Damn. Fair. I like that.
But
Yeah,
I
let's do
wasn't
that
planning
then.
on running Jade Regent anyway.
Yeah, let's do that then, and then we can kind of like hide that for another time with Neph, so Boulder can still finish her.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Um,
still again I still have plans for time Neph for when the party again. The party's not going to be in Sandpoint constantly, but the party
yeah,
is going to be in and around the area. So feel free to again if you want, I'm totally free tomorrow if you want to bang out a character sheet and whatnot. Do you want me to
amazing.
tell
Yeah.
the party who you're playing as, or do you want me to keep it a secret?
Um, I think I can kind of wake up with Boulder, can't I?
Yeah, absolutely, because he's the one who missed session today. I'm saying, do you want me to tell Tarek, Halo Grunt, and the rest of them about you playing as a bard slash a Mako, or do you want to keep it as a surprise?
What would you do if you remember?
I'd prefer to tell them and gauge their reaction.
Cool. I can do that now then, to be honest.
All
So
right,
I could do that
so
in just session stuff.
I was just gonna jump back into the DM and tell everyone what we decided.
I think everyone. Oh, in the group.
Yeah, in the DM group I made, I think people are still in there.
Uh, oh, there's 3 people still talking. Yeah, let's jump back in there.
Okay,
Two.
hi
Oh,
there.
Hello.
What do you guys still talking about stuff?
yeah, we're just
Yep.
talking.
All right, well we came up with an idea. Neph, do you want to pitch them the idea?
So, basically, yeah, Neph is now dead. So that's happened. But instead, I can come back as a Mako, follow her storyline.
That could be interesting.
Oh
Sorry,
no.
it's dying though.
Sorry?
What'd you say?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I said, yeah, sorry again about Nephthys dying, but that could still be interesting, yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, Neph was being quite destructive and things. Anyway, I think she was quite like off the cuff and just kind of chaotic, which is fine to have as a character. Then obviously, as she started a 4-year-old, you know, with the chaotic kind of side of things, like she's drinking things and doing things rash and like walking down, you know, being upfront even though she's a 4-year-old and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
she did stupid stuff. She's gonna die.
And
But-
minus that 4-year-old part, that is exactly like one of my friends.
well, there you go. Yeah, like she just came across really reckless. It was kind of like the getaway.
Yeah, like I said, the grog probably didn't help in the end.
There's a reason I gave you guys a side quest to make the grog less insane.
Yeah. Which I was saying, hey, if we want to drink grog, let's wait until we do it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also why we cut off Neph.
Only for her to run to another bar.
But
Which,
do you know
and
what
so,
I do have to say I think the downside was Tarek physically attacking and taking it down rather than trying to talk to her
I
diplomatically.
tried!
I
I
think
would
that sparked off
prefer
a bit of
if we
rebellion.
can avoid PvP in the future, because PvP is not fun.
Like I said,
I'm
We
glad I
tried
got-
talking.
I'm glad I got you guys to learn the grapple rules, but for future reference, I'd prefer if the party ended just. I'd prefer if you guys were able to solve problems diplomatically, so I'd like a party that was able to talk with one another.
like I said, I'm sorry. I tried to talk to say, hey, no,
Alright,
let's not have
what's
any grog.
done is done. Are you guys cool with what's it called, Flappy Don here jumping in to possess a Mako?
I mean,
Do you guys think that would work with the party?
Yeah, I mean, as long as everyone else agrees, I would say it's fine.
Okay, well, you guys are half the party, so that's why I'm asking.
Who's possessing who?
What's it called? The sorcerer here is dead, so we came up with the idea of her possessing the bartender.
The sorcerer died?
Yeah,
not here
long
for
story
that?
short.
No, I
dude,
was
he left
getting
the
my
center-
wound care done,
Basically,
man.
she
He
got
was in the
she got
cult
turned
when
into
we left.
she got turned into a 1-year-old or 2-year-old, sorry, and then she
turned into a
re-rolled with a hero
4-year-old.
point and turned into a 4-year-old, and then she was leading the way with Caius in some dungeons for some reason, and then ran
Nope.
down to a podium that had it was an ancient evil podium filled with evil water.
Yeah.
And I told Vaz to go and get
She
Tarek
took
to
too
help
many
me with
risks,
this.
is what happened.
And then she just did a risk.
Yeah,
and
she
was 4.
mutated and died.
She was
So-
4.
This character knowingly drank a cursed
Incredibly
potion.
evil cursed
Well,
water, yes.
Yeah, but she was
and
a
then
4-year-old.
turned into a baby, turned into a
Yeah.
bigger baby, turned my
Yeah.
character, who was far away from this whole situation, into an Oompa Loompa.
That
That's going
wasn't
to cost
me.
me like 400 or 500 gold to get uncursed.
That wasn't
and-
me. No, that
Or
was
until level 5.
Okay,
that was
Yeah.
Caius, you can blame for the Oompa Loompa stuff. Everything
okay.
else, you can
So who's Caius?
the drow.
He's the monk that's
The
kept-
drow. Okay, the drow I just made goggles for went
Yeah.
off and did something very stupid that affected me. Then they all went into a dungeon and one got killed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. We went into the dungeon to try and find
Okay.
something that was called bottled anger. And
which is why
Wait,
things were turning out.
someone died because they got mutated.
Well, now we can leave.
They failed to roll with a nat 1.
I think this party is more harmful to itself than the creatures are. I think we're just
Absolutely.
I completely agree, and that's why I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do to try and get the party to work together a bit better.
Yeah,
Hey,
I still
if
feel
we-
bad about the grapple. I still feel bad about killing Neph. I'm sorry.
I already know what my last words are going to be.
That being,
Oh.
Pazuzu, Pazuzu, Pazuzu.
okay. Again, if you guys aren't having fun with the campaign, we can swap campaigns.
no.
Yeah,
I
you
think it's the
saying
issue, honestly, with players and taking things a little too far with taking risks that are stupid.
I would
I
prefer
mean-
if the party took less crazy risks.
I know.
And changing
Well,
the campaign and not changing the players won't fix
The-
that.
The person who took all the crazy risks is now dead.
It doesn't
Precisely.
matter.
That character is gone entirely.
The character's
Okay, I'll-
gone. It's a
well,
question of the
technically-
players. Are they going to make another recluse character?
Well, no, because the character that I'm now taking over
Yeah.
is the woman who we saved from the
You could also play-
Glassworks.
Level 1 fighter.
So she has her own personality that I'm now taking over in a different way.
Yeah.
So I
I'd
was
strongly
playing as
suggest.
Neph, who started as chaotic and risk taking already, and then it just got worse with Tarek tackled her
Yeah.
and she ran off, and then all of these things happened. She became a kid, and then she's taking risks as a 4-year-old. So yeah, it was really bad. But
I say the person who died just pays the price to make a new character.
That's exactly what we're doing right now.
Because if they come back as a possessed person, I do believe they might not learn from their mistakes because they just
I'm
keep on
still-
coming back.
I'm still making a new character. The only thing that I'm keeping is basically embodying, because I was going to be a bard anyway. Basically, Arthur
Yeah.
is a bard. We're taking along Kathy, which is kind of like a right hand droid woman. So it kind of makes sense if I then become a Meko. I
I
am
think
then
what
a
the
bard.
dwarf is trying to say is, have you learned your lesson?
Yeah, like I say, it was all character choices rather than me personally. Yeah, it was hilarious. There was certainly
Wonderful.
funny and I enjoyed.
That's
But
all
they
I
were
care
characters.
about.
Yeah, sorry again. Like I said, the character choice I made was just I couldn't think of what to do, so that's why I went for the tackle earlier, which then probably led to that whole rabbit hole.
Neph's dead. You don't have to apologize. She's gone.
I still feel
Was Neph? She was a caster, right?
she
Yeah.
was
Yep.
an
Sorcerer,
arcane
yes.
caster.
Sorcerer, so good charisma, bad wisdom, bad intelligence.
No, really good intelligence, but just really reckless. She was chaos.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. What was her wisdom?
Idiot by choice. Idiot by
Um,
choice.
Idiot
Wisdom
by
was
choice.
11.
11.
Wisdom was
Okay,
11,
she wasn't.
Intel was 16.
She wasn't by unwise by any means. She was pretty intelligent. So I'd say your character is more suicidal than anything.
Again, idiot by choice.
She's not dumb enough to know that wouldn't have bad results.
Yeah, well, no, drinking the waters and things as a
Yeah,
4-year-old.
like
I was
I
left
think,
on my
I
own
think,
with
yeah.
water.
So she did turn 4, which I imagine would have had an effect on her mental scores. And there are rules for child characters, which I was going to pull out at the end of session, but you didn't last that long.
and who the hell brought a child into a dungeon?
That was
They
Terrence
did.
going, I believe.
They did.
Ter-
They
I
had the
think
option-
I'm sorry.
They had the
Terrence
option
should
to
be
leave me in
executed.
childcare. They
That's
had the option to
fucking
leave me in
horrible.
childcare.
I suggested to leave Neph behind.
Like,
Yeah,
Neph
we
would
were-
have been sorted
we-
and probably learned her
We
lesson.
initially said we were going to, but she kept running along and just
Yeah,
joined.
I wish I was there because I totally would have grabbed like the collar of the child and just held onto it.
Yeah, that's
It's-
basically what
yeah.
we did. I ended up putting her on
Yeah,
my
just
shoulder.
totally like, okay, you guys go ahead. I'll just be here with this kid. We'll be safe.
I think, yeah, but I think I tried to get the party to put the child in daycare. They chose not to, and so now Neph is dead.
Sorry
Again, I would have absolutely put the child in daycare. I suggested that in chat.
that
sort
was
of.
probably,
Everyone else said no.
No.
I couldn't say anything. I was a kid still, and no one else agreed with it. So we all just went, and then that was when I turned into a 4-year-old. Bad choice.
yeah. We tried the alchemist. And that's where we learned about the potion, which led to the whole dungeon situation.
Okay, well, there will be occasions where you will discover bad choices that cannot be undone instantly.
Yeah,
This was one of them.
Yeah, this.
You know what always ruins a campaign? The deck of many things. Every
No.
game I ever
That's-
Yep.
ran,
That's basically what the grog is, though.
yeah, that's what the grog is. But every game I ever ran, the party ran into the deck, and I had it in the world. They chose to take cards every freaking time, and that was the end of the campaign.
This is the deck of many things, minus the really good stuff. Just keep the average good stuff, and all of the bad stuff.
So
Yes, and I don't know why people keep drinking it.
every
that's-
bar has this magic elixir with random curses in it.
Yes.
Every bar.
Because
Yeah.
it makes money.
Apart from
It is
apart
an,
from the
if you want the full story, it is something that one of my party it is something that my party discovered a few campaigns ago, and one of them fucked with it. Fucked with it so
Yeah.
hard that it turned into the current crazy version of it, which is why you guys have now have been given the quest to unfuck this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Which
gonna
is
go.
if you can find this sort of sands of Karkarai, you can unfuck this and turn it back into the more mild-mannered alcohol it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
who fucked with it and made it worse?
Who fucked with it and made it worse? That's a good question. Let me scroll through my full. It was. I believe it was Drake. It might have been Drake. It might have been. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was. It was someone in that campaign. So it was either Drake, it was Thor, or it was Solus. One of them.
for some reason I remember the name Solus.
Yeah, she was a centaur on a campaign a few years ago.
Okay,
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't the Solus campaign. It was.
I was gonna say that's not.
Yeah, it. I don't remember who did it. I
I think
think
I
it was
remember-
Drake. I could be wrong on that one.
Yeah.
But
I
at
remember
one
it had
point,
character that-
alcohol. What's it called? Grog of Whimsy used to be normal, and then one of my party members fucked with the formula, and I decided to use the new table. But now the new table's causing problems, so you guys are more than welcome to swap it back to the old table.
Yeah, that's probably why that's one reason I'm trying to stabilize it.
Well,
And this will also help with your future campaigns.
indeed, if you guys are able to stabilize Grog of Whimsy, that is how it will be in the future.
So
Why don't
is-
they
is
just stop
stabilized for
serving
better?
it?
See, but it makes so much money though.
I mean, it's
'Cause
10
it's 10
gold.
gold.
Yeah, that's a
And-
lot of money.
The restaurant is under contract, not able to be sued.
How much
One-
10 gold is? It's the average person's
$10.
wage for like a month almost.
Yep.
Like for
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, in one go, which is why it's such a good moneymaker.
Yeah, it'd be like spending $1,000 or $2,000 on one drink.
Yeah, basically.
And it also brings in the adventuring type.
Yeah, why do
You
you
make
think
a
it's
lot of
only
money.
sold at the adventuring inns?
It's not sold at the local Walmart.
Anywho, just wanted to make sure you all were okay with Neph here taking over Ameko. She's going to make her own new sheet and whatnot going forward. And hopefully the party will be a bit more stable as a result.
Yeah, hopefully.
Alrighty.
I still remember what happened the last time Neph this drank in the previous campaign.
Indeed. That didn't happen,
Yeah.
though. No metagaming.
I know. I'm saying that was funny.
Shh.
I know. I'm just saying.
Am I the only person here who does not know about this?
Okay, explanation. What is happening right now is technically an alternate universe in the sense that I've been trying to run this Rise of the Runelords, this campaign, for like several years now. You guys are not the first fuckers to try and save Sandpoint,
Yeah.
except that every single time I've tried to run this campaign, it's just exploded because of reasons beyond my control. So specifically for
What?
this version of the campaign, I grabbed Tarek, I grabbed Neph, I grabbed like 3 or 4 of my other friends. I tried to run this. They got to about where you guys are right now, maybe a little bit further.
Yeah,
And
just a
then,
little.
yeah, then the entire group just exploded.
Yep.
Well, disabled nuclear options would be a good course of action, DM.
No.
Just saying.
If you guys want to drink grog, I have no problem with grog. I love this shit. It just
Well,
I think
it's
this
something
one's
that
just quite detrimental. I think
that's
Save a
something
Life
that
one
nobody
is
can
just like
stop.
absolutely.
Like none of the players can stop
It
another
is
player from doing
it is
that.
a terrible, terribly, incredibly high risk sort of thing. But if
Yeah.
you're the type of person who wants to take crazy high risks on shit, you are more than welcome to. It might reward you, it might turn you into solid gold, it might give you open close as a cantrip. However, that's why I'm giving you guys the job to unfuck this sort of thing. If you
Yeah.
guys want to restore grog to a much more mild mannered liquid that'll just like make your chair float, you are more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
And that's what we're
The
trying
only
to
thing that
do.
would make the more deadly version of the grog more balanced is if the curses were like temporary ones, so that we just needed to sleep off.
They are temporary ones. You only need to cast remove curse, which is
I mean,
fairly
time
common at high levels. It's just you guys aren't at the high level where remove curse is something you have access to.
I was more meaning like some of the curses, like the age one, are like time based ones. Like, oh, you'll be this old for this many hours.
Oh well, there was one right next to the roll d20, which is that you roll d20 for your age every day, as opposed to
Well,
just
that's a
rolling
bit
d20
more.
for
A
your age.
20 can't be a D20 can't become 100.
Mm-hmm.
It can in a couple of days.
So at least Neph would have been a teenager again.
Possibly, depending on what you rolled.
unless I kept rolling
like,
ones.
like I said, out of character, technically Neph could have survived that stuff because she could have. Didn't you have another hero point?
I used the other hero point because I had 2 left. So I used one of them to re-roll to 2 years old, and another one to re-roll to 4 years old.
Oh, you re-rolled 2 years old? I thought
Oh wait,
you had...
no, I used the hero point somewhere. I used it.
I think you used it
I
last
think you
session
used
at
it.
some point.
Yeah, last session.
I was gonna say if you had another hero point, you could have re-rolled that nat 1 on the save.
Okay, I don't want to. Please no using hero points to change continuity. That'll just cause too
I
many
know.
problems.
I'm just saying, could have did that, but it's obviously way too late.
Yeah, well,
Hence
rolled
why we came up with the Ameko idea, which is I think
Yeah.
it seems reasonable for Ameko to join your guys' group as like a full-time adventurer.
And it
I
also
mean, yeah.
brings more of a reason for us to have Kathy, which both Caius and Boulder really enjoyed, like having her there, and she was so
Absolutely.
helpful.
I'm totally cool with you guys taking Kathy along as like party mascot.
I mean, Ameko's reason for not joining us before was that she wanted to fix
Be around
the
with
father
Dad.
and brother situation.
And well,
And they're not
that's
there
That's
been
been
fixed now.
which is literally
yeah,
why
that's
it
been
fits in more,
fixed.
yeah. That's why it fits in so much. That's why we were kind of both like, I mean, that makes sense because I could just be someone else who's kind of like stuck in this dungeon somewhere, and you find me, and that's my backstory. I've been captured or something. But I mean, this just makes sense because her father, and her brother aren't there anymore. She doesn't have a mother because she committed suicide. So the only thing that she had keeping her in the inn was the father-brother. She wanted to deal with it rather than go off adventuring. She doesn't have that anymore. You guys like Kathy coming out. Why doesn't she just join you? It kind of has like a bit of bearing to it rather than just nothing.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so
And if you really want to possess somebody else, become Shayless.
yeah, Shayless is another option.
That's very true.
It's true. It's really really up to you guys. Like
you
it's
could
also a bit
still
my
play
choice, but like
chaotic
it's
side.
kind of up
Just
to you guys as well.
let
Do you like the idea of a Meko being out there as a character?
I'm okay with the Mako being
Yeah.
it, but if you wanted to do Shayless as well, I mean that's always an option. You could have Shayless become a sorceress, like
Yeah,
suddenly.
you have the Goblin Brigade. You're welcome to possess the Pokemon Trainer. That's another option.
That's your turn to become a goblin. You could become a goblin, you could become Amako, or you could
Become Dave.
become Shayless, and
Yeah,
Shayless could.
possess Dave, become the horse. Hey man, you're laughing, but like fucking My Little Pony style horses, that's a real race. It's great.
Oh gods, her horn. This is
Brilliant.
the new character. I'm sorry, just a joke.
Anywho, feel free to give me a poke tomorrow, and we can knock out your character sheet and whatnot. For me, it's
Yeah, amazing.
9:30, and I think it's like 4 in the morning for you, so I'm gonna go to bed now.
2:32 here, yeah.
All right.